Okay, real talk. You're about to spend over $1,000 on a laptop you'll use every single day for the next 4 years. And if you choose wrong, you're stuck with a glowing Apple logo and a lot of regret. So how do you actually choose the right MacBook for school or college in 2025? And no, the answer isn't always just get the most expensive one. Stick around, because we're breaking down exactly how to pick the right MacBook for your major, your budget, and your lifestyle, without wasting your money or overthinking the entire thing. Let's go. All right, so you're heading off to college. Or maybe you're in high school and your current laptop sounds like it's about to take off every time you open Google Docs. You know you want a MacBook. You love the ecosystem, the battery life, the build quality. But then you get online and bam, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, M1, M2, M3, 13-inch, 15-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch, and you're like, why is this harder than applying for financial aid? You're not alone. A lot of students don't know how to choose a MacBook that actually fits their needs. So let's simplify it. First up, what are you studying? Because the MacBook you pick depends way more on your major than you think. If you're majoring in something like English, business, psych, poli-sci, anything where you're mostly taking notes, writing papers, doing research, you do not need a MacBook Pro. In fact, for those majors, the MacBook Air M2 or M3 is literally perfect. It's lightweight, it's powerful enough for multitasking, and the battery life is insane, like up to 18 hours insane. You can take notes all day, edit a few Canva presentations, and still have battery left for Netflix later. It starts at $999 or $899 if you get the student discount. And that brings us to a key point. Always check Apple's education store. You can save serious money just by being a student. Plus, they'll usually throw in free AirPods or a gift card during back-to-school season. Now, if you're doing more creative or technical work, like video editing, 3D modeling, app development, or even running complex simulations, you're going to need more horsepower. This is where the MacBook Pro 14-inch or 16-inch comes into play, especially with the M3 Pro or M3 Max chips. If you're in film school editing 4K video in Final Cut Pro, or a comp sci student running Xcode and virtual machines, you'll need the power and the fans and the extra GPU cores. But, and this is big, don't overbuy just to flex. I've seen freshmen buy a maxed out $3,000 MacBook Pro just to write essays in Google Docs. Bro, no. That's like buying a Ferrari to drive through the Starbucks drive-thru. So here's a quick breakdown. Which MacBook should I buy in under 30 seconds? MacBook Air M2 or M3? Perfect for most students. Thin, fast, great battery, starts around $899 with student discount. MacBook Pro 14-inch M3 Pro, great for STEM or creative majors who need more power. Better display, ports, starts around $1,599. MacBook Pro 16, M3 Max for pros only. Not necessary unless you're doing hardcore creative or technical work. Now, let's talk size. Some people think bigger screen means better. But hear me out. If you're walking to class, tossing your laptop in a backpack, working in coffee shops or cramped dorm rooms, a 13 or 14-inch MacBook is way more portable. The 15-inch MacBook Air is a nice middle ground. It gives you more screen real estate without being too bulky. But if you're on a budget, the 13-inch MacBook Air M2 is the sweet spot. Compact, powerful, and still under $1,000. Don't forget about storage. 128 gigabytes is gone. Most new MacBooks start at 256 gigabytes. But if you're dealing with video files, coding projects, or lots of downloads, go for at least 512 gigabytes. It's more expensive up front, but trust me, you'll thank yourself later, when you're not constantly deleting files just to update your OS. Okay, what about RAM? For most students, 8 gigabytes of RAM is enough. But if you're running heavier apps, Photoshop, Logic Pro, Final Cut, you'll want 16 gigabytes minimum. RAM can't be upgraded later, so pick wisely. All right, let's answer a few quick-fire questions I get all the time. Should I get AppleCare Plus? If you're clumsy, yes. If not, maybe. College is chaotic. Spills happen. What about refurbished MacBooks? Apple's certified refurbished store is awesome. You can save hundreds and still get a full warranty. Just make sure it's not too old. Like, don't go buying an Intel MacBook in 2025. Is the M1 still good? Honestly, yes, for basic school tasks. But if the price difference is small, go for M2 or M3 for better future-proofing. So, how do you choose the right MacBook? You focus on your needs, not what TikTok tells you to buy. Figure out your workload. Prioritize portability if you're always on the go, and stick to the newer M2 or M3 models for best value, because at the end of the day, the best MacBook isn't the flashiest, it's the one that gets you through 8 a.m. lectures, late night essay grinds, and everything in between without crashing, overheating, or dying halfway through class. If this helped you figure out how to choose the best MacBook, hit that like button, share it with a friend who's still deciding, and comment below what you ended up picking. And if you want a full MacBook review for students covering real-world performance, battery tests, and accessories, you'll want to catch the next video. It's coming soon. So yeah, subscribe so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.